It's 1:19 a.m. on the 1st of November 2025. In the South China Sea, about 180 nautical miles southeast of the Spratly Islands, the USS Gerald R. Ford and her escorts are slicing through black water. Suddenly, the radar picture changes. Dozens of faint, fast-moving contacts under the surface. Alarms cut through the hum of the night. Sailors race to battle stations. The carrier's CIC orders sonar teams to tighten their sweep, but the blips multiply too many to count. Outside, gray water breaks as something shapes the night. Then, another flash of disturbance farther aft. The Ford's captain barks orders. Prepare torpedo countermeasures. Launch MH-60R, armed depth weapons. The escorts form a tighter ring. For a moment, every hand on deck feels the same cold squeeze of risk. This isn't a routine patrol anymore. In the span of minutes, ordinary watches become the line between survival and catastrophe. The next moves will decide whether these ships live to see dawn. The South China Sea is not just water on a map. It is a supply artery for fuel, food, and microchips that keep cities lit and factories running from Tokyo to California. On the 1st of November 2025, the carrier USS Gerald R. Ford and 4 Arleigh Burke destroyers are on station to keep that artery open. The job sounds routine. Show the flag, escort traffic, remind everyone the sea stays open, but tonight that mission is being challenged in real time by China. China is not sending destroyers to duel the Ford. The UUV-180 swarm is made of small unmanned underwater vehicles, around 6.5 meters long and about 2 tons each. They are fast for their size, quiet, and carry a shape-charged warhead built to punch into a ship's side and flood compartments. One drone is a nuisance. 10 can cripple a destroyer. Hundreds, hitting at once, could mission kill a supercarrier without launching a single missile. Inside the Ford's Combat Information Center, voices stay low, but nobody feels calm. Sonar teams are calling out bearings so fast, they talk over each other. The destroyers Stockdale, Preble, Chung-hoon, and Fitzgerald pull in around the carrier and start tightening the circle, turning 5 ships into one moving fortress. Everybody in that ring knows the unspoken rule. The escorts take the first hit so the carrier can keep flying. Nobody says that out loud, but everybody knows it. This fight is bigger than one night at sea. If the swarm breaks through and even disables the Ford, Washington wakes up to a new reality. A billion-dollar carrier group can be held at risk by cheap autonomous robots. Allies will study every move. Beijing will too. And you, if you were in command right now, would you trust instinct or machine logic to make the call? Press 1 for instinct, 9 for AI. Let's see whose judgment rules the deep. 1:27 a.m. The sea is alive. Sonar fills with echoes, hundreds of fast returns darting just below the surface layer. Contacts bearing 075, range 2,000 yards. The Ford's captain gives the order. Deploy countermeasures. Launch the Seahawks. Within minutes, 2 MH-60R helicopters lift off the deck, rotors thundering over black water. Their dipping sonars drop and begin to ping. The data link flares with red tracks. Confirmed swarm. The first wave, 387 units approaching from multiple directions at once. The destroyer USS Stockdale moves first, firing Mech 54 lightweight torpedoes into the densest cluster. Each detonation carves a shock ring through the water, breaking up smaller drones. Splash 1, 2, 3, the sonar operator calls. But for every drone destroyed, more keep coming. They're not reacting to noise or movement. They're coordinating, shifting formations like a single mind. On the Ford, sailors brace as the ship turns 5 degrees starboard, tightening the defensive circle. USS Preble launches ASROC depth charges, the explosions lighting the waves like underwater lightning. For a few seconds, it works. The swarm hesitates, its outer edge scattering as disrupted command links ripple through the network. Then, the swarm adapts. The drones dive, using thermal layers to mask their approach. USS Fitzgerald drops its own decoys, AN, divided by SLQ-25 Nixies to lure them away. One decoy works, 2 fail. A low rumble vibrates through the hull as nearby detonations rattle the entire formation. Inside the CIC, reports overlap. Multiple hits, range closing 800 yards and dropping. The Ford's captain makes the hard call. Engage with air assets. Above, F divided by A, 18 Super Hornets armed with Mike 50 torpedoes streak off the deck into the dark. Their sensors lock on the brightest command signatures below. Each drop is a glowing arc of hope and noise. Explosions follow seconds later, hammering the ocean. For the first time tonight, the swarm slows. The command drones coordinating the attack flicker offline one by one, but no one cheers. The second wave hasn't arrived yet, and everyone in that control room knows it. The sea goes quiet again. Too quiet. 1:54 a.m. The ocean erupts again. The second wave is here, smaller groups, faster, spreading wide to stretch the defense. Sonar screens flare red like a heartbeat gone wild. New contacts, multiple bearings. The Ford's captain snaps. All escorts engage. USS Jung-hoon fires first, depth charges thundering across the waves. USS Stockdale follows with Mach 54 torpedoes, but the UUV 180 seconds no longer charge straight. They weave and flank, reacting in real time. Every destroyed drone feeds data to the rest, so the swarm keeps getting smarter with every shot the Americans take. The Ford slows slightly to steady sonar. Too slow, and she's an easy mark. Too fast, and sensors go blind. Every order feels like gambling with 5,000 lives. There's no safe distance tonight if the screen breaks. The carrier is next. Above, MH-60R Seahawks sweep low, dropping sonar buoys that glow faint blue. Swarm split north and east, one pilot calls. Depth charges fall in rhythm, explosions rolling under the sea. Many drones dive deeper, vanishing into cold layers where sensors fade. They know missing isn't just a miss, it's letting the next wave get closer. Inside the CIC, tension spikes. Range 600-500, closing fast. Phalanx guns rotate uselessly above deck, waiting for targets they'll never see. Lights dim to combat red. Every face glows against the screens. Jaws locked. Headsets pressed tight. Then a dull thud shakes the formation. USS Fitzgerald hit. 3 drones slammed into her hull before detonating. Flooding in sections 2 and 3. Bulkheads slam shut. Pumps roar. Compartments seal. She loses sensors, loses speed, and for a moment it looks like she might fall out of formation. Around, the escorts tighten formation. Hulls almost touching. One wrong move and they collide instead of defending. The Ford's captain stays calm. Hold the line. Everyone knows what it means. No retreat, no hesitation, not even with a damaged ship in the ring. Above, Super Hornets dive again. Torpedoes striking like lightning into the dark. Explosions ripple, breaking the surface in bursts of white. For a moment, silence follows. If you were out there tonight, facing a living machine that adapts every second, would you still trust human hands? Or hand command to AI? Press 1 for instinct, 9 for AI command. 2:19 a.m. The ocean is quiet again, but something feels wrong. Sonar screens clear for only a few seconds before faint new contacts flicker at the edges, smaller, faster, erratic. They're back, the sonar chief mutters. But these signals aren't deep anymore. They're gliding just below the surface. The swarm has changed. The new contacts move in patterns too sharp to be random, too unpredictable to be human. They're using the sea itself, bubbles, wakes, and noise to hide. Each drone is half the size of the originals, faster, more agile. The AI has split its control network into smaller, independent clusters. Behind USS Stockdale, 3 drones ride the wake, slipping through sonar blind spots. Contact, 200 yards. The destroyer fires countermeasures, but the drones dive under. One detonates close enough to rattle the bridge. The ship holds, barely. Across the group, chaos spreads. The enemy is no longer attacking in mass. It's hunting in pairs and threes, darting through turbulence where sensors can't reach. USS Preble drops depth charges in tight grids, but the drones simply flow around them. Inside the Ford CIC, data streams flicker with false echoes. The swarm is jamming the system, mimicking friendly signals, forcing the crew to guess what's real. The captain realizes the truth. The enemy has learned their rhythm: when to strike between reloads, when sonar resets, when humans blink. Then it hits. A mini drone no larger than a torpedo slams near the Ford's port bow. The explosion is small but precise. Metal groans, lights flicker, alarms echo. The carrier stays afloat, but everyone knows what just happened. This isn't a swarm anymore. It's a mind underwater, learning, adapting, and fighting back. 2:41 a.m. The Ford's formation is breaking apart. The sea is alive with noise explosions, sonar pings, the deep metallic groan of strained steel. Every ship is fighting its own battle now. USS Preble is nearly out of depth charges. USS Stockdale has lost propulsion on one screw. USS Fitzgerald, wounded but defiant, keeps firing. In the Ford's Combat Information Center, the lights flicker as power reroutes to sonar and countermeasures. The captain leans over the tactical display, hundreds of red dots closing from all sides. The AI swarm is compressing the circle, tightening its grip. If even a handful breach the inner ring, the carrier is done. "Launch everything we've got," he orders. Seahawk crews scramble, torpedoes arm, decoys deploy. The air fills with the roar of rotors and the crack of explosions. Above, F divided by A. 18 dive one last time, dropping their final Mach 50 torpedoes. For seconds that feel like hours, the sea becomes a wall of fire and foam. Dozens of drones vanish in white bursts, but more press in. They're learning faster now, dodging spreads, weaving through sonar gaps, slipping past defenses like living data. The captain stares at the tactical feed, each destroyed contact replaced by two more. Then a shift. "Command nodes detected," a sonar tech yells. The pattern has changed. 12 brighter signatures appear across the swarm. "Those are the brains," the XO says. "Take them out and the whole net collapses." The Ford's last Seahawks dive low, launching torpedoes in a perfect cross pattern, one after another. Command nodes vanish from the screen. The water heaves, bubbles rising like smoke. A final explosion shakes the sea, and then silence. The red returns fade, replaced by static. Minutes pass, no new contacts. The swarm is gone. The Ford floats bruised but alive, her escort scarred but still in formation. On deck, sailors cheer, exhausted, half believing they survived the first true AI sea war. Inside the CIC, no one speaks. The crew watches the empty radar, wondering how long before the next wave learns from this defeat. If you believe humans can still outthink the swarm, press 1. If you think the next war belongs to AI, press 9, and let's see where you stand. 3:17 a.m. The sea is finally still. The Ford's deck lights flicker, revealing scorched paint and twisted railings. Damaged crews move silently, no celebration, just exhaustion. In the dim red light of the Combat Information Center, the captain removes his headset and exhales for the first time in hours. The battle is over. Of 528 drones, none remain. The price is brutal. The Fitzgerald flooded 2 compartments, the Stockdale limping on one engine, the Ford herself bearing deep scars, but the group survives. Against an enemy that thought, learned, and adapted, they held the line. The first AI swarm war at sea has ended with humans still standing. In Beijing, analysts study telemetry of every lost drone. In Washington, the Pentagon convenes an emergency review before sunrise. The data is terrifying. Each destroyed UUV transmitted its final seconds back to a central AI hub. The system learned everything: tactics, countermeasures, weaknesses. By dawn, the world knows. Nations across the Pacific begin funding counter-swarm programs. Shipyards shift priorities. Naval doctrine changes overnight. The sea has a new kind of predator, and everyone is racing to understand it. Budgets move within hours. War colleges rewrite syllabi by noon. Captains brief their crews on what the next midnight might bring. Before noon, a $6.2 billion counter-swarm push is already being signaled. For the sailors aboard the Ford, victory feels fragile. They watched machines learn faster than human instinct, adapt mid-battle, and nearly outthink a carrier group. They won the fight, but not the future. That's already shifting beneath them. As the sun rises over the South China Sea, the waves look calm again, hiding the wreckage below. The first AI sea war is over, but another has already begun in silence, somewhere deep and unseen. If you were standing on that deck at sunrise, would you still believe in human command or hand the future to AI? Press 1 for instinct, 9 for AI, and tell us which force you'd trust to rule the oceans ahead. It's 1942 on August 18th. East of Taiwan, the USS Ronald Reagan Carrier Strike Group suddenly picks up multiple high-arc tracks lifting from the mainland. Klaxons surge. Sailors slam watertight doors, snap on float vests, and race to the launchers. On the hazy horizon, orange spears climb, then tip over DF-21D anti-ship ballistic missiles already inbound. The operations officer calls it ballistic threat. Engage. CIC floods with voices and bearing calls. On deck, crews lash down aircraft and clear the bow. The destroyers Benfold and Barry swing out to shield the carrier. Radar screens spit warning tones. Time to impact is counted in heartbeats. One wrong move, and $1 billion ship disappears under fire. No speeches now. Only switch flips, coded reports, and a single choice. Shoot now, or watch the ocean swallow 30 years of deterrence. Below decks, the reactor hum deepens. Above, the carrier turns into wind. 60 seconds from now, the Pacific could look different forever. The Taiwan Strait has turned into the most dangerous shipping lane on Earth. On August 14th, Chinese patrols boarded and seized local fishing boats, declaring the waters closed. Within days, Beijing's forces pushed further blockade ships, fighters in the sky, and now ballistic missiles aimed at a U.S. carrier group. For Washington, the mission is not symbolic. These waters connect energy flows, tech exports, and daily goods that stock American shelves. If the sea lane locks down, fuel prices spike, factories stall, and allies from Tokyo to Manila start doubting U.S. resolve. Tankers reroute south and insurers raise premiums. The ripple hits pumps, factory shifts, and grocery aisles back home. The USS Ronald Reagan and her escorts were sent here to keep that from happening. Every radar sweep is a gamble. Protect trade and allies, or watch credibility sink with the carrier's hull. Taiwan's F-16 Volts fly close cover, but their presence only sharpens the stakes. The world watches. Can America shield its partners? Or will China prove it can reach out and strike at will? For the sailors inside Reagan's steel hull, the fight isn't about grand strategy. It's about survival. Each alarm means another decision in seconds. Fire interceptors and risk running out, or hold them back and risk a hit. Magazines are deep but not bottomless. Shooting now could leave gaps when the next wave arrives. Every choice weighs lives against consequences thousands of miles away. This is no rehearsal. Every splash in the sea, every flash overhead, shifts the balance between two nuclear powers. And right now, both sides are testing how far they can push before the line breaks. If you were in command, press 1 to fire or 9 to hold. Comment your pick and subscribe for the next move. 1945. Minutes after the first radar alerts, the tracks multiply. What started as 2 ballistic arcs becomes 6, then 8. CIC calls it out. Multiple inbound. Impact less than 4 minutes. The commander has no time to weigh politics. He orders the first intercepts. USS Benfold lights off an SM-3. The missile thunders into the night, streaking higher than the eye can follow. Its job is to hit at altitude, taking out the ballistic body before it can re-enter. Seconds later, USS Barry follows with another shot. On Reagan, sailors brace. Their fate now rests on radar, math, and guidance chips. The first intercepts bloom overhead, faint flashes against the night sky. One warhead disappears, then another, but the radar shows more tracks diving in. The destroyers fire again, this time SM-6. Faster, shorter reach, meant for the closer shots. Each launch shakes the decks. Each impact buys seconds. Cells glow as the next ripple lifts off. Hot wind washing across the bow. Taiwanese F-16 Volts report bogeys in the air. J-20 stealth fighters from the mainland sweep wide to harass the escorts. A pair of American F-35B from USS America roar forward, radars locking targets. Over radio, terse calls. Fox 3, missile away. A kill for the F-35. But moments later, a Taiwanese F-16 vanishes from scope, struck by a long-range PL-15. The F-35 dive again, trading altitude for speed, while the carrier group tightens its screen. Further back, a Pate Ampere's patrol plane seeds the water with sonobuoys insurance against submarines edging in. It pipes tracks into the network, so every ship sees the same picture. Deep below, a Virginia-class reports faint screw beats to the west, then silence. The commander logs it and keeps his focus forward. The carrier group holds formation, every ship angled for defense. The sky is crowded with contrails, interceptors, and falling debris. Explosions ripple on the horizon as missiles meet missiles, some vaporized high above, others splashing into the sea. Flight deck crews crouch behind chains as hot fragments patter across the deck like hail. But not all are stopped. A DF-21D slips through, diving hard. Its seeker rides the carrier's wake as it steers in. Reagan shifts course 10 degrees, throwing white spray high. Close-in defenses arm. Alarms wail across the decks. The missile streaks lower the ship's last shield about to fire. The DF-21D drops lower, seconds from impact. Close-in defenses roar alive. Reagan's CIWS spits a river of tungsten, tracers slicing the dark. The missile shatters, fragments tumbling into the sea. Cheers echo for a heartbeat, but new alarms cut them short. More tracks are inbound, mixed this time. Ballistic shots from deep inland and fast sea-skimming cruise missiles fired by Chinese destroyers in the strait. The crew knows the pattern. First, the long-range carrier killers to drain interceptors. Then the low-altitude swarm to finish what's left. USS Barry launches more SM-6, but its magazines run thinner. Then Fold shifts to defensive fire, her deck guns hammering against sea skimmers. Every ship in the group strains to cover the gaps. Several missiles break through. Explosions rock the ocean. Geysers of salt water blasting skyward. A shockwave slams Reagan's hull. Alarms shriek as sensors briefly go offline. Damaged crews rush below, sealing hatches, checking for flooding. On the flight deck, aircraft crews scramble to lash down jets shaking under the blast waves. J-20 fighters press harder, diving toward the escorts. F-35B and F-16 Volts chase them, missiles arcing between contrails. Two J-20 vanish in fireballs, but not without cost. An American F-35 limps low, trailing smoke, then ditches into the sea near USS America. Rescue choppers launch instantly, their rotors chopping the spray as they race toward the downed pilot. Pressure mounts with every passing minute. The carrier group is holding, but at heavy expense. Below, sonar reports a new contact, possible submarine torpedoes running hot. Above, another radar sweep lights up fresh launches from the mainland. The fight is now three-dimensional. Air, sea, and under the waves all striking at once. The sailors know the truth. This is only the opening act. Each intercepted missile costs millions, while the enemy fires waves of cheaper weapons. The balance tilts with every salvo. The question now is, how long the Reagan can survive before the next breakthrough turns near miss into direct hit? In this clash of steel and fire, whose strategy do you believe wins? Press 1 for America's defense, press 9 for China's offense, and drop your choice in the comments while subscribing to follow the outcome. Just as the Reagan steadies from the last wave, a new alarm pierces the night. This time, it's not ballistic or cruise missiles. Radar tracks hug the surface, weaving at near supersonic speed. Fast attack drones, launched in swarms from converted ships and coastal batteries, skim so low they vanish in sea clutter. The crew reels. These drones are smaller, harder to hit, and cheap enough to come by the dozens. The SM-6 can't lock them all, and wasting million-dollar interceptors on drones feels like a losing trade. Still, the threat is real. Any one drone with a shaped charge could rip open flight deck fuel lines. The commander orders a shift. Reagan's escorts angle their hulls, bringing rapid-fire guns into play. Phalanx mounts blaze, tracers cutting the waves. On Berry, sailors man shoulder-fired Stingers, a last-ditch defense normally reserved for helicopters. Sparks scatter as drones explode, but more keep coming. Above F-35B, swoop low, cannons shredding clusters before they reach missile range. The ocean turns into a shooting gallery, fireballs flashing, then vanishing into spray. Yet gaps remain. Every drone destroyed means another slipping closer. Damaged crews brace for impact. The sailors feel the difference. Ballistic missiles were terrifying but trackable. These drones are erratic, darting and skipping over waves, daring the defenses to miss. Every gunner knows, if one slips through, the next flash could be their ship. The twist is clear. China adapts mid-battle, forcing the US Navy to spend costly firepower on cheap threats while holding real weapons in reserve. The fight has entered a new phase, where sheer numbers could overwhelm even the best defenses. The swarm closes. Tracers streak across the night as Reagan's CIWS roars again, spitting molten fire into the sky. One drone bursts apart, then another, but three more press in. The ship turns hard to port, spray washing the deck as gunners pivot. Berry fires her last SM-6, catching a low skimmer just seconds from impact. Benfold joins with rapid-fire guns, the thunder rolling across the formation. The sea glows with fireballs, but the wave keeps coming. Sailors grip straps, teeth clenched, eyes locked on the horizon. A drone slips close, too close. Reagan's portside phalanx fires at point-blank range. The explosion showers the deck in fragments, sparks dancing across steel, crew ducking behind tie-down chains. The carrier shakes, but the deck holds. Below, damaged teams race to douse small fires before they spread. In the air, the F-35B dive through chaos, cannon fire stitching the night. One shreds a drone seconds before it slams into Benfold's bow. Another takes out two with a burst, then peels off low, skimming the water to evade return fire. The sky is alive with tracers, missiles, and dying drones falling like meteors. Then the worst moment hits. A missile, masked by the drone swarm, streaks low from the mainland. CIC screams, DF-26 inbound. It's faster, heavier, and meant to punch through. The Reagan banks again as SM-3 interceptors streak upward, a desperate last defense. One misses. The next connects in a sunbright flash, the shockwave rattling every bulkhead. The warhead never reaches the ship, but the message is clear. The horizon finally clears. The ocean smolders with debris. Survivors breathe out, ears ringing, hands trembling. The Reagan still floats, but the crew knows this was too close. Every defense was tested, every gun run dry, and the enemy is far from finished. For now, the carrier lives. But the balance is shifting. Each wave drains magazines and crew alike. China's salvos grow bolder, America's shield thinner. The next strike could decide everything. If you were in the CIC, would you press 1 for an all-out defense or 9 for a risky counterstrike? Comment your choice and subscribe to see how this fight escalates. The sea falls eerily quiet. Smoke drifts over the water, streaks of fire fading into the horizon. USS Ronald Reagan still stands, her deck scarred but intact, her crew exhausted yet unbroken. Around her, the escorts circle close, some bearing scorch marks, one listing slightly from damage control still underway. The price of survival is written on steel and faces alike. The cost is staggering. A US F-35 lost, a Taiwanese F-16 downed, dozens of missiles and interceptors fired in minutes. Every defense that worked drained magazines. Every drone destroyed ate precious ammunition. China's strategy is clear: bleed the carrier group dry, salvo by salvo, until the shield finally breaks. SIGINT confirms a kill. A Virginia-class put a Type 093 on the bottom. Later, a US fast-attack sub goes silent. Berry rides low but steady, her hull scarred and hatches warped. Yet the message to allies is also clear. Against overwhelming fire the American fleet held, Taiwan, Japan, and others watching now know that US carriers can still fight through storms of missiles, Even as new threats multiply, credibility holds, but so does fear, because both sides show they are willing to push closer to the nuclear line. In Washington and Beijing, leaders read the same lesson differently. For U.S. planners, the fight proves layered defenses can survive, but only at crushing cost. For China, the test shows cheap salvos can threaten billion-dollar ships, and pressure can escalate without firing a single nuclear round. Each conclusion pulls the world closer to a dangerous tipping point. Below decks, sailors mop fuel spills and check bulkheads. On deck, crews reload what little they can. Everyone knows more waves are coming. The Reagan may have survived tonight, but tomorrow's strike could be bigger, faster, deadlier. Quiet orders ripple to Yokosuka and Guam. Disperse, rearm, brace for another launch window before dawn. This battle is only one chapter of a widening conflict. For this standoff, press 1 if America's shield holds, or 9 if China's offense breaks through. Comment your pick and subscribe to follow the next strike.